In the early 19th century, in New York City, newspapers cost around 5 cents. That might not sound like much today, but back then, it was expensive. Newspapers were only made for wealthy people, filled with politics and economic reports. If you were part of the working class, you simply didn't have access to information. But everything changed in 1833. A young man named Benjamin Day looked at the streets of New York and noticed something powerful. Thousands of people working every day, with no access to news, and no entertainment. So he asked a simple question: what if I made a newspaper for them? That idea changed everything. He launched a new type of newspaper, cheaper, simpler, and made for the masses. Instead of politics, he focused on crime, drama, human stories, and everyday life. And most importantly, he dropped the price to just 1 cent. Even though printing cost more than the selling price, he had a bigger vision. He wasn't selling newspapers. He was selling attention. The more people read, the more advertisers paid. And the more emotional, shocking, and entertaining the stories were, the more people kept buying. Some stories were even fake, like the famous report claiming life had been discovered on the moon. But it didn't matter, because for the first time in history, a business understood one thing: attention is the real product. And that's how the attention economy was born. But what exactly is the attention economy? Before we get started, let me introduce my channel. My name is Sammy, and this is Nice Guy. On this channel, I break down the strategies and business tricks that make companies successful and powerful. I hope you enjoy the video. So, today, I want to talk about something you experience every single day, without even realizing it. The attention economy. Think about it for a second. You open Netflix, and it keeps playing episode after episode. You go on social media from meta platforms, and you just keep scrolling. You search something on Google, and instantly, you get exactly what you want. And it all feels free. But in reality, it's not. You're not paying with money. You're paying with your attention. And that attention is extremely valuable. In fact, this idea isn't new. An economist called Herbert Simon explained it a long time ago. He said, "A wealth of information creates a poverty of attention." What he meant is simple. Today, information is everywhere. Unlimited, free, constant. But your attention? It's limited. You only have 24 hours in a day. So now, attention becomes the most valuable resource in the world. And that's why every company is fighting for it. Not just competing, fighting. Because the more attention they get, the more money they make. And this is where it gets interesting. Companies like Google and Meta platforms don't just create products. They design systems. Systems built with algorithms, artificial intelligence, and psychological tricks. All with one goal: keep you on the platform as long as possible. Because the logic is very simple. More attention, right pointing arrow, more time. More time, right pointing arrow, more ads. More ads, right pointing arrow, more money. That's it. That's the business model. Your time becomes their revenue. And the crazy part is, you don't even notice it. Every day, you're exposed to hundreds, even thousands of pieces of content. Videos, notifications, posts, ads, all designed to grab your attention. Not by accident, but by design. And the company that wins your attention wins everything. So in this video, we're going to break down the exact strategies these companies use to capture your attention and keep you hooked. First, you need to understand that we live in a world full of entertainment, where everyone consumes content in their own way. But one of the most important and popular forms has always been television. From a very young age, we grow up watching TV series, movies, news, shows. It feels free. You just sit down, turn it on, and enjoy. But in reality, it's not free at all. You're paying with something way more valuable than money: your attention. This idea was already explained by Herbert Simon, who said that a world full of information creates a shortage of attention. And today, attention has become one of the most valuable resources on the planet. Every second you spend watching TV is tracked, measured, and ultimately sold to advertisers. That's why TV companies invest billions to capture your attention. They produce high-quality content, movies, series, reality shows, but more importantly, they fight to own the rights to major global events. Because live events equal massive, concentrated attention. Take the 2022 FIFA World Cup final. Over 1.5 billion people watched a single match. That's not just entertainment, that's one of the largest attention spikes in human history. And the bigger the audience, the higher the stakes. Now look at the Super Bowl. Around 100 to 120 million viewers, mostly in the US, and ads during that event can cost millions for just a few seconds. Why? Because advertisers aren't buying ads, they're buying access to your brain. And it's not just during big events. Ads are everywhere. Before a show, in the middle, between programs. TV channels are designed to keep you watching as long as possible because the longer you stay, the more attention they can sell. So the business model is actually very simple. Attract attention, keep attention, and sell attention. And this doesn't just apply to TV. Platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and Netflix follow the same principle, even if the experience feels different. The product isn't the content. The product is you. Your time, your focus, your attention. And this doesn't just apply to TV. Because what started with television has now evolved into something much bigger. A system that's faster, more addictive, and way more powerful.